Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Around the Fire. Today, for you, I have my no frills opinion on the Kel-tec KSG shotgun. Well, what can we say about this thing right off rip? You see it on the shelf, it's not going to have this, it's not going to have this, it's just going to be that, that you see here. It's quite the handsome shotgun. If you're into the tactical look, it's got it. It's definitely badass looking. It would put the fear of God into a home invader, that's for sure. And for me that was sort of a selling point. Unfortunately these cool looking things sometimes come with these cool, or not so cool, but cool gun price tags, and these retail at about $900 to $1,000 right now. Well, what do you get for $900 to $1,000, you might ask? So let's get right into the specs. It's a fairly heavy gun. Unloaded, it weighs about 6.9 pounds. It has an overall length from front to rear of about 26 inches. It's 26.1 is what's advertised. Now, this is a bullpup configuration shotgun, and I'm sure if you're watching this you probably know what that is, but just for those that maybe don't, that just stumbled across this somehow, this is not like what you would consider an SBR. This is not a ATF regulated firearm. You do not have to fill out any forms like a Form 1, get a stamp, or any of that sort of stuff for this. This is a full-length barrel. The chamber is in here, the firing chamber. The barrel starts here, and you have a full-length 18.5 inch barrel. And, for whatever reason, the overall height is advertised from here to probably there is about 7 inches. It takes the 12-gauge cartridge, which, if you've ever shot a shotgun before, which I'm assuming most of you have, is a lot of fun and very cheap and readily available, so fun to get out there and blow some holes in some targets or blow up some clays. It is pump action fed, and this is right here the release. It has a dual feed system, which I don't know is going to get picked up properly on the camera here, but there are 2 loading tubes, 1 and 2, each holding 7 rounds of ammunition, and they are switched to with the fire selector here and here between the 2. You can set it in the middle, and the middle will freeze and lock both tubes, but it does not alternate between the 2 tubes. So a little bit of negative on that one. I wish it did. That would be very cool. But you can do 1 tube, and like my configuration I have here at home, which, I thought out a little bit, not a lot to be honest with you. It was just mostly what shells I had laying around. I load 1 tube up with high velocity birdshot, and then the other tube I have loaded up with your pretty typical 9 pellet buckshot. You could do slugs. You can actually, something I saw that was very, very cool, is the mini slugs. If you're not familiar with these, are about half the size of these. They have quite a bit of velocity to them still, especially in like a close quarter situation like your home, where we are right now. You can put 24 of the mini shells in there. 24 shotgun shells. That's fucking awesome. The construction of this thing is super solid. In your hand, you can feel that this is an incredibly well manufactured firearm. The plastics, or injection molded whatevers these are, polymers, are very solid. They're not flexible feeling. They do not feel like if it was dropped for whatever reason that it would accidentally break. It's short. It's compact. It's got the SBR, quick reacting, around the corner sort of abilities for your home, which might be something nice for you. I actually thought to myself too when I picked this up, I was like, okay, you know, when I'm going deer hunting with the guys, you know, this thing is perfectly capable of firing a rifled slug. It's smaller. I'm not gonna say it's lighter because it's probably not lighter than all shotguns, but I mean, it's, you know, it's a little compact guy, and I thought about it for, you know, deer hunting too. I'm very into, you know, these cool combat style weapons. And I mean, it's definitely, like I said, got all the cool features. You know, it's got a nice rail up on top, kind of monolithic style. It's pretty long. It doesn't come back all the way. I kind of wish it did. I wish it was a little bit further back, just because, you know, when your face is comfortably rested, your options for optics with this are pretty much, you know, red dots and farther forward optics. There's, I mean, maybe you could find some means to mount a scope on there. I don't know that you'd really want nor need a scope with an 18-inch barrel shotgun. I mean, you know, you could probably get some pretty good accuracy, you know, within, say, you know, 75 yards. But I do wish that, you know, there was a longer rail. I'm fairly positive there's probably a longer rail available in the aftermarket. Getting into the negatives, the thing kicks like a fucking mule. I could not tell you exactly why, other than perhaps the direct straight angle in which the shot is delivered near your shoulder. And when you think of the way most shotguns are sort of configured, with the barrel being higher and then the stock sort of being lower, I mean, maybe there's, I'm sure there's some science to that I'm not aware of, you know, but this thing, it delivers a punch. It'll hurt your shoulder after a little while. The fore end, you know, is not very large, as you can see, with this being the area that, as you pump, goes over the receiver. With this flashlight mounted on the bottom here, there's not a whole lot of room for your hand. Now you might say, like, we'll just take the flashlight off. Well, you can, and there is little lips to prevent your hand from sliding forward, but there has been multiple incidents, at least 2 recorded so far, of people blowing their fingers off with this thing, sliding too far forward. The 2 incidents, I believe, were directly related to the mounting of vertical grips on this that were not approved, that were not strong enough. Now, I don't know if it was the grip that broke, or if it was the Picatinny rail here that is made out of the polymer plastic. I know that there's an aftermarket rail available for the bottom here that covers it, that is anodized aluminum. It would be much stronger if that was something you were looking into, because I think personally that would be much more comfortable, you know, the pistol grip up in front. I basically have this here for, you know, obviously when we're sleeping at night, the lights are off. This particular flashlight has a strobing function, so, you know, just turn it on, point it, and boom, you know, hopefully that's all it takes. I mean, if you need more than that, you're doing it wrong. Other than that, you know, it's, like I said, it's a bit heavy. It's a bit on the heavy side. You know, other than that, I mean, the price tag, you know, is a lot of money, but I think you're getting a lot of technology packed into this shotgun, because obviously Keltec went out, created this thing, did all the research themselves. They weren't going off an established weapons platform, so there's a lot of development costs, I think, that were involved in this that, you know, we're paying for. You know, I think you are getting a lot of gun here for your money. Another pro, I suppose, is it disassembles fairly easily. I'm not going to do it here because, to be honest with you, I haven't had to do it yet, but I have watched a few videos on it, and it seems to be a relatively straightforward process for cleaning and whatnot. One negative I can think of is in the mechanism here in the back. Loading can be a little tricky sometimes. I mean, once you get used to it, it's not too bad. Hopefully, in whatever situation that you're in, 14 shotgun shells plus 1 in the tube will be more than enough to do ya. I mean, if you need to reload in a desperate situation, I suggest that you have a sidearm on you and you ditch this brick. And if you haven't killed what you were trying to kill yet, you might as well just get the fuck out of Dodge, because if this hasn't done it, I don't know if you're gonna. The pro, I guess in my book, would be the alignment and location of their Picatinny rail. With this particular red dot, which is not an expensive one, this is just a True Glow 3 MOA red dot. You know, available at your local sporting goods retailer for anywhere from like $30 to $50. They're not like expensive. They're not super fancy. This particular guy really just interfaces well. Like if you close your eyes and just get on there, you're right where you need to be. So that works out nice. I mean, I wouldn't want to put anything on here that's got like the higher rise mount, I don't think. But I think that they've got this just where it needs to be. Your safety, sort of, you know, in the spot you'd expect it to be. Thumb operated or forefinger operated. You know, out on this side would be the red F, which is your fire, and then the other way would be your S for safe. Your, like I said, your release is in a nice place there for your adjusted front finger. You know, very easy, nothing crazy there. One other small negative I can think of is, I don't know if it's a break-in period or perhaps just a learning period, but this shotgun seemed to, when I first got it, need to be racked pretty firmly. You really had to give it, you know, to load the cartridge properly. I was getting situations where I don't know if it was just not, like it would not pick one up or it would just not put it all the way in. After, you know, 10 or 12 shells, I didn't seem to notice the problem anymore. I don't know if it was just like like I said, a break-in period, or perhaps I had just been sort of limp wristing it and not being firm enough with it, you know. But all in all, I have to say, this thing is really cool. It's, in my mind, a totally unnecessary item, a cool item nonetheless, but it's, you know, it's an overkill kind of shotgun. I think, you know, when you're in that sort of price range, you could kind of go out and look for, you know, an AK-47 platform semi-automatic shotgun, and you could have close to, if not more rounds, depending upon what style magazine you had, and have it on a semi-auto. You know, you could, I mean, of course, in that situation, you're going to have an 18-inch barrel. You know, unless you, when applied, to switch that into a ATF regulated weapon and shorten the barrel so that it'd be like an SBR shotgun, which is a big hassle. I mean, if you've done it before, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's a pain in the butt. If you haven't done it before, it doesn't sound like something you probably want to do. So, you know, if you're looking for the short, tactical feel of something with high ammo capacity, a rugged feel, something solid. I mean, hell, if you miss with 14 shells, you can beat them to death with it, because this thing is, like I said, solid like a tank. It's basically a sledgehammer with a trigger. Yeah, I mean, that's your guy then, you know. Fun to shoot. It's loud as fuck. Unbelievably loud. And, you know, the intimidation factor is there. Like, if that's what you're going for, like I said, for a home defense weapon, something that'll hopefully scare the bad guys away before they even get away. It's got that sound, and everybody knows what that sound means. It means get the fuck off my lawn or get the fuck out of my house, you know. But, you know, it's got the intimidation factor. You see this thing pointed at you, you know, you hear that, it's time to go, you know. And if you don't go, we've got the little flashlight on there with the strobing effect, and I'm sorry, you know, you're done for. So, you know, you can set this up in a lot of various different ways because of the rails and everything that they give you. The, you know, flexibility of the platform is good. It's all there in one package. You don't have to buy something like a Remington shotgun and then buy like a bullpup conversion kit, which would probably put you relatively up into this price range already anyway. So you're going to get something with like a nice trigger. The trigger does not feel bad. Like I said, this is all empty. Those were the rounds that were in it, just for safety's sake here. But like, and we'll take, it's off safe, okay. Just so you can see, the pull on it's not too bad. there's a little give to that point right about there, and then a relatively quick and firm snap. It feels pretty good. It's not horrible. It could be better, but as most people that are familiar with bullpups are aware, the entire triggering mechanism is working its way into the back here, into the firing mechanism. There's a lot of linkage, and the linkage on this is very tight feeling. It's not mushy. It's not crap. So, all that being said, I would say if you're really, really into shotguns and you really, really want a combat shotgun for your house just for fun, or maybe something that you can shoot for fun and go hunting with, because you can go hunting with this. There's no reason you couldn't. If you find the look attractive and say, oh man, that thing's so cool, and you've got the extra money laying around, go get yourself one. We will do some testing in some future videos to show you things like accuracy, capabilities, fun things to do with it, whatnot, and just like overall performance. We'll get to that. I don't get out to the range, unfortunately, as much as I used to. It's summertime here, so I've been doing a lot of fishing. So I apologize for the delay in between videos. But yeah, guys, that's about it. If there's anything else you want to know about it, post it in the comments. Like I said, the 7 and 7 is based on 3-inch shells, so shorter shells you can put more in. Like I said, the mini shells I think you can do about 24, which is pretty awesome. So 24 plus 1 gives you 25. It's got multiple strap mounts. It's got that tactical feel. It's solid. Kel-tec's a good brand. You're not going to go wrong buying this shotgun. It's just one of those. Do you need it? Like I said, it's super cool. If you have the money, go for it. If you don't have the money and you've been saving up for it, and you're like, oh man, I really want it, dude, I don't know. There's a lot of other stuff you can go buy. Just saying, for $1,000, $1,000 is $1,000. You can go buy like almost 2 AR-15s for that nowadays. They're getting so fucking cheap. So yeah, that's me. That's Andrew's no BS review of this guy here. The Kel-tec KSG shotgun. Tons of fun, tons of money, tons of coolness in one package. Other than that, I don't know what to say. So guys, either go get yourself one or don't. I don't care. Just have fun and be safe. I'll see you next time.